After an overtime thriller against Davidson, Cornell had to have their Ivy League mentality and get ready to play on back-to-back nights, searching for another signature win here in the mecca of college basketball, Madison Square Garden. While Madison Square Garden may have been unfamiliar territory for the basketball team, Cornell does have some history in the building. Back on November 28th, the Cornell hockey team made a visit to MSG for red-hot hockey, ultimately ending in a 3-3 tie with Boston University. From ice to the hardwood, Cornell's appearance in the finals of the Holiday Festival did not come without a little drama. First round against Davidson, score notched at 88 in overtime. It was Ryan Whitman doing what he does best. And with that 30-foot jumper at the buzzer, Cornell would find themselves one win away from being crowned champions of the oldest tournament in college basketball, the Holiday Festival. Their opponent in the final game, the St. John's Red Storm from the Big East. To game action, it was Cornell getting off to a quick start. Senior Jon Jaques would put Cornell on the board first with a three-pointer. More on him later.
Sometimes you got to take what they give you, and they gave us threes.
And St. John's took those threes in the first half and connected from long range with great success. The Red Storm were 7 of 10 from behind the arc in the first period. Pretty impressive for a team not known for their outside shooting.
It was more our game plan to hopefully force them to shoot the ball from distance. And the strategy did not look real smart for a long time there because they shot the heck out of the ball.
Oh, but St. John's could do more than just shoot. They're pretty athletic too. Look at DJ Kennedy go coast to coast with no regard for what's in front of him. Let's take one more look at that play. Kennedy able to slice through the Cornell defense before they get set, giving St. John's an early 15-8 lead. Cornell can shoot pretty well too. Here's Lewis Dale from long range, cutting the St. John's lead to just 4. Cornell has been priding themselves on their defense all year, and the Red had the chance to show that off Monday night. Off the turnover, St. John's trying to push the tempo. Sean Evans a little out of control, and nice recognition by Ryan Whitman stepping in for the charge. Remember, there's no cylinder under the basket in college basketball. Cornell able to turn that into a 5-point swing as it's Chris Robleski knocking down the 3 on the ensuing possession. Moments later, it's Lewis Dale knocking down another 3 to cut the Cornell deficit to just 1 midway through the first half. St. John's refusing to let Cornell pull ahead, and man did they shoot the ball well. This time it was Dwight Hardy with back-to-back threes for the Johnnies. He had 19 on the game. With 7:34 to go in the first half, Cornell does something for the first time in the game. It's the big man Jeff Foote with the Reds' first 2-point field goal of the night. St. John's able to make a little run towards the end of the half, and it's Hardy again going to launch from deep, and wow, look where his feet were on that one. Nothing but net for the junior who hit 5 3-pointers in the game. Remember how explosive DJ Kennedy was? Yeah, don't let him get in the open court. With that deuce, Kennedy gives St. John's their biggest lead of the game. Danger time for Cornell, but like always, playing with poise. Jeff Foote with one of his 3 N1 plays on the night gets Cornell rolling late in the half. Cornell down by 8 with under a minute left in the first and hoping to go into the locker room on a high note. Who's going to step up? It's the senior tri-captain Jon Jaques knocking down the big 3. Man, did he have a career night. At the half, St. John's led by 5, 36-31. Dwight Hardy led the way for St. John's with 13 in the first half, followed by Paris Horn with 9. For Cornell, it was Jon Jaques with 9 points leading the way, followed by the big man Jeff Foote with 8. Some team stats for you. Notice the big rebounding and bench point differential, heavily favoring the St. John's Red Storm. We resume action in the second half, where St. John's extended their lead to 7 points early, but the Cornell big men had something to say about that. Cornell had mostly an outside game in the first half, but on their first 3 possessions in the second, going inside. Jeff Foote here with a one-handed flush and a foul, and this time it's Mark Curry doing his part, making up for the bench point differential that we saw earlier.
We knew if we stayed tough defensively, they weren't going to knock down the 75% from 3 all night.
And the Cornell defense held. The Big Red held St. John's to just 4 of 15 from behind the arc in the second half. That's over 43 percentage points worse than the Red Storm shot from deep in the first half. While Cornell shot almost 60% from the field for the game, they had to do more than just make shots to beat a team like St. John's. Cornell did a superb job winning the 50-50 plays and playing strong defense in the second half, first resulting in a Chris Robleski 3, then a St. John's turnover.
But when we play defense like we did in the second half tonight, we know we can play with anyone in the country.
Almost midway through the second half, the Big Red had enough of playing from behind. The jump hook by Foote gave Cornell their first lead since they led 6-5 early on. Foote would hit the free throw to put Cornell on a 10-2 run. However, St. John's would not go quietly. DJ Kennedy able to knock down a big three, rising over the outstretched arm of the 6'7 Jaques. The three cut the Red Storm deficit to just 2. Anything you can do, I can do better. Next possession, it's Jake's turn to shoot over Kennedy, and he doesn't need any iron to get that one to go down. Cornell back up 5. The Red Storm must not have gotten the memo on the game number 25 was having for Cornell. Here, just leaving a wide open path to the basket. You can't do that at this level. Nice court awareness by Jaques, getting the easy bucket. St. John's able to get back into the thick of things by pressuring the backcourt and forcing the turnover, and then crashing the board, getting another opportunity. And if you're Cornell, you can't allow a Big East team's second opportunities. Dwight Hardy taking advantage of that there, knocking down another three-pointer to tie the game at 60 with under 3 minutes to play. With the score notched up at 60, Cornell goes to arguably their most reliable player. Foote able to battle down low, getting the bucket. He had 19 and 11 on the night. But DJ Kennedy wasn't done, putting his team on his back and taking Robleski all the way to the goal for the floater, setting up the biggest possession of the game for Cornell. 1:03 to go in the game, Cornell up 2, 64-62. With a basket, Cornell can just about put this one away. With that one, they would give St. John's a shot to win the game and the tournament. Cornell needed someone to step up, and at this point you should know just who it was. He's been doing it all night. With 6 seconds left on the shot clock, it's the senior Jon Jaques with a catch and shoot over Justin Brownlee, and that three sealed the deal for Cornell. Folks, there you have it. Final score, Cornell 71, St. John's 66. Scoring leaders for Cornell is Jon Jaques with 20, followed by Jeff Foote with 19 points and 11 rebounds. For St. John's, Dwight Hardy had 19, and DJ Kennedy added 15 points and 7 boards. MVP of the tournament goes to Cornell's Jeff Foote. He had 16 points and 14 rebounds in the opener against Davidson, and followed that up with a 19-point, 11-rebound performance in the finals against St. John's. Foote taking home the hardware, and that was extra special for him.
I've only been MVP once before, and it was in like a high school tournament, and to be an MVP on this stage it's pretty unreal.
The 2009 MSG Holiday Festival champions, the Cornell Big Red.
I'll be honest with you, this is a huge step for our program to beat a team like St. John's, who's very good. Here's a team that's on a roll, and we play them at Madison Square Garden in a very prestigious tournament in front of a lot of alums. It's a huge step. I feel great for guys who've been around this program.
I think our program has come a long way since we've all gotten here. Every year we seem to get a little bit better, and this year it was a big-time program win. I think teams are starting to realize we're for real now, and we can play with the big-name schools.
Teams that had some success with them had played off their format and were able to sink in the lane, and that way you can help on the big fella because we're a little undersized. And give him credit, he made some big. And the last shot he made, I don't think anybody could have contested it harder than what Brownlee did. I mean, he jumped at his maximum, coming at him, and the kid made a great shot. Give him credit.
And obviously, you can't say enough about Jon Jaques, and not just offense. I mean, he played out of his mind offensively. He played great defensively. He's guarding Big East players off the dribble. And here's a kid who hasn't played in 100 games in his career step up on this stage, and I couldn't be more proud of him.
I haven't played, honestly, like significant minutes for 3 years. That's just a matter of getting my confidence back. I always had confidence in myself, just kind of game confidence. I play well in practice, that sort of thing. But game's a whole different story.
I mean, they're a great team, and I don't think the game was physical at all. I mean, they're just smart players, great shooters, and any open look, it was almost a layup.
They're a lot better team than they were last year. A lot better, a lot deeper, more shooters, bigger.
I think we are a better team this year, just because of we've been playing together for so long, and we kind of realized that this is our senior year, and we got to step up to the plate.
Third time's a charm for Cornell. After dropping their first 2 games against Big East opponents, the Big Red finally got it right against St. John's. Reporting from Madison Square Garden, I'm Jake Massbound, Slope TV.